Welcome everybody to Spinner Rack. How y'all doing? I gotta say, we're talking about John Wick. Did you like that movie, Petey?
Parabellum Part 3. So this is Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
They're thrown like the first one was like, all right, this was just exciting movie and he's back.
Right.
The second one was a cliffhanger. This one is Chapter 3 in maybe a 23, 24 part movie.
23, 24 part
Or
movie.
book, like a book.
Okay. Because you had me scared there, so I was like, what is he
What?
talking
I
about?
want to see a bunch of parts. I want them to keep going.
How far do you want us to go?
Why not?
I totally disagree. Look,
Just
did you
like
like the movie or not?
like Resident Evil, there's 3 million of those. Why not do like at least get to 6 or more? Like what's it? Not 1. What did LeBron say? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. And LeBron only got the 3. He only got the 3. He only got the 2 with but John Wick is already at 3. So, and this one led you. Well, this is one of the things. If you've ever been in a moment where you're alone and you're stuck in the rain, running around, you got no friends, and the world's about to cut you off. Everyone's been here, and we know John Wick is there. But this one is a little. This one plays to. It's a little more political than I would expect it to be, because the setup of him being excommunicado is almost like the German information system, because it's all these women and they're all the old school operators from way back in the day, and they're all doing almost a telegraph setup of getting this information. But it really goes to when you watch one of those movies about the Nazis finding out that Hitler's dead, and they're like, what is this thing we just got? Just basically like an old school, telephone with operators, right?
Yeah, they had that old kind of
Something.
steampunk type of thing where
it was really cool.
where they're using the old school type of thing. I think it was all right. So let's go on with this movie. I kind of understand what you're saying here. I like
Don't
this
sit around
elements.
there looking at me like that. Don't be looking at me like that.
Yo, I'm so sorry. Look,
Don't you be acting at me like that.
What I'm saying is that you have the movie, right? The movie is interesting in that it has certain elements, such as that you have the high tech plus the old look,
tech.
Where you have the operators putting in their calls through there. This is a world where, they're
This is the
high
movie
class.
I wanted to make. This is the underbelly of New York City and the world,
Right.
and how things really go.
Right. So the thing is here is that you see this movie and you're like, why are we doing a third version? Because the second version, there was a where he killed somebody in a hotel.
He killed the wrong person.
No, he killed the hotel. You weren't supposed to kill anybody. It's supposed to be sacred ground, right?
Yes.
So now it takes off. Everybody's going after him because now he's excommunicado, which is cool. The way they put the word, but the movie's supposed to start exactly right after the movie.
It did. He was
No, it
running.
doesn't, because he was in Central Park the last time.
But he had time. They gave him amount of time. By
Gave
the
him amount
time
of
that
time.
it's raining.
Okay, yeah.
And this is also playing to being in New York in a congested thing. And now it's looking like they've shut down the streets via traffic, so he can't get around there. So, and this has been the movie that I've been wanting to make for a long time, where the city is is reacting in ways where you think it's just your normal thing like traffic, but it's actually could be trying to
Prevent you from doing different things.
and get John Wick into places where he can't do anything.
Well, I mean, that's one of the great things about the city, because then you have the different neighborhoods, the different ethnic organizations that are out to get him also, or out to at least aid him or not aid him, depending on where and what you're doing.
In this one, we get to meet the Russian families.
And we find out...
Wait, are we supposed to say that?
It's past tense. Put down spoiler, goddammit.
God. All right.
John Wick is Belarusian? I mean, most people just say they're all Russians, but he is. And his name is what is it, Verdandi or something?
John Darn.
Verdandi. So that's kind of wild because, you know what? Big up to the Russian guys, because this guy, no wonder he's such kick-ass. You can't kill the Russians like you can kill anyone else. And here's one of the biggest Russian heroes now he becomes.
Well, they have their training. That's the thing. And we'll have to cut into the Marvel movies a little bit, because they have the Russians training the assassins and the ballerinas all at the same
And
place.
they're making a movie called Ballerina. So you know what? They're cutting in once again into what storyline?
Black
Widow. Black
Ma-
Widow, yo, Jew Feige, you were so late, man.
Yes.
Everybody's been doing it. The Sparrow with what's the name of the chick?
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow.
We have a little of that in the Atomic Blonde.
Oh my gosh, Atomic Blonde has
so
it.
how many times
see-
you gonna do the Russian thing and Marvel's gonna come late to the party? What are you gonna bring to it? But this is the thing.
It's like going back in time or something like that.
So this is also to me another political statement saying that the Russians, like, because we keep all in the news of Russia's a big deal. And remember in the past, Russia was supposedly a big deal when it was
The USSR was kicking. We had a Cold War between us.
We had a
and-
Cold War, but as one of my teachers used to say, it was a third world country with nuclear weapons. It was our competitor, but basically they were in an arms race that ultimately they knew they would run out of money at some point. And then now we're still dealing with them as a superpower because, once they fell, they didn't necessarily lose. They ran out of money, but when they getting it back on their feet, we had to help them and be nice while helping them. So you don't win a war where you help the people that you're warring against.
We did with Germany and Japan.
Well, no, we had this. I'm saying we were in a war where we ultimately didn't conquer. We took land in Germany, right?
Yeah.
So we took land in it. This is a different thing where we're not taking over Russian land. We're like, hey, here's some money. We don't know. You didn't understand that you don't need the money, but here you go. It's sort of like that. It's sort of like you had to.
I think the Russians will see it differently. Once they were one big country, now they had 15 other countries separated from them. So before you had Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Lithuania.
You're right. Yes.
They were all part of the Russian, the USSR, and then on top of that, they had other countries like Poland and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
They were part of the orbit of the empire.
Now with the
and now
Czech Republic,
right now Americans are putting. They want to put F-35s in Poland. So the Russians feel a little threatened, a little circled. As an American, hey, anything that keeps the Russian off balance, understandable.
No, you can't. We've created
Russian, I'll be like, that's nuts. I'm surrounded. So yes, I kind of see both ways.
Yes. All right. Thank you. But the thing is that ultimately, having John Wick, being of Russian descent,
and it's a big market for movies too.
Is saying that they're not. We can't always. Not necessarily Russians aren't the problem.
No.
But then
explain to me.
Okay, we both ultimately in the war, right? Even though you had Joseph Stalin, both of us, the U.S., the Britain, and Russia, were going against Nazi Germany.
Yes.
And some would say that we stood on the outskirts while the Russians were in the heavy battles.
Yes.
Okay.
The Russians say that. Yes.
So then, but we say at some point, this you have to agree with, that once the tide turned, the U.S. is going in to say we don't want Russia to take over all of Europe.
Yes.
So you'd agree that is a American statement on there, and we say, all right, we're going in, we're both doing this at the same time.
Churchill was pushing it, the Iron Curtain. You were saying we don't want an Iron Curtain is falling over Europe. Yes.
But the American troops we were Mr. Isolation, like we're not supposed to be involved.
We were tired of the war. We want to continue this now, fight another hour. Yes. So yes, what is the point?
Okay. But I'm saying ultimately, in working together in that situation, getting past the Cold War, even dealing with the idiocy of the Russians and Donald Trump, saying maybe they're not the biggest power here. And in John Wick, they say the same. We find John Wick goes to, where does he go to meet when he meets Halle Berry's character?
He goes to Morocco.
He goes to Morocco. He meets, and that's the same setup like the Continental. He goes to the Continental in Morocco,
yes,
which is run by Halle Berry's character.
Yes.
And she has these two dogs. She sort of, I've been going, the problem I'm having trouble with, because I've been calling her Lady DMX. But she got these two, was it the German Shepherds or something like that? And they're like they're very vicious, and ultimately she is going with John. She has a past friendship with him, and that's the other thing. You can go in the past and do a story with these two characters, but at the same time,
you got to big up Halle Berry. She did far better than I expected to be in the movie.
Halle Berry was really good,
especially
in this.
The battle scene with with her dogs. Her dogs working in conjunction with her,
Oh.
off the chain.
And this one is a lot more graphic because in this movie they go for a kill shot against everybody that's cannon fodder in the movie. They make sure they're dead with a headshot. So, but basically,
unlimited bullets. That's the great thing about Hollywood.
No, they reloaded at least.
A couple of times.
They
Yes.
reloaded.
There's some bullets that I was like, what the hell?
But if you go, then the Continental at the same time is going through a bigger struggle because they're going to, basically.
They back John Wick.
And letting him go anywhere.
Right. Saying,
yeah, you didn't stop. You were not at fault, but you could have done more. So they're in trouble. Lawrence Fishburne, who is the runner. Now the thing is,
the Bowery.
In the Bowery, we don't know what the Bowery can do yet, right, in this movie. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. But the Bowery's in trouble, the Continental's in trouble.
Because they let John Wick go.
And they might have, our favorite characters might have to step down. So John Wick is doing his thing in Morocco. They say he has to go to the desert, go as far as he can go, almost die, and then he can, be cleared. And when he goes out there, who does he run into?
Who?
The power we haven't seen before out there. The real power in this world.
Is it really the real power?
And is that was it like Saudi Arabia? Am I right?
I don't know. He's like some type of Arab dude.
So yeah.
I know we've seen the guy in many movies. I don't even know if he's really
But
Arab.
he is the true power. And he can clear John Wick. And that's another political statement of saying.
But he clears John Wick.
No, he doesn't. They make a deal.
Right.
And he takes John, just like you say in Pulp Fiction, Marcellus Wallace's soul is in this case. This Arab character takes John Wick's wedding ring, and he takes something else from him, which we're not going to reveal. But this is saying that he's human. He's human, and he's taken this last connection to John Wick's wife.
Right.
So
now he's back in the fold.
But he's supposed to work for them, and then he does. Obviously, he goes back and he's just fighting again.
He goes back then, and the people who wanted him dead are like, nah, I don't care. It's irrespective of what they said, So that's what I'm trying to say. So what was that whole thing where, the ultimate power doesn't see who says, hey, this is what he's back in the fold, and then they don't let him go. So I don't know.
No, the thing is, but the more point is the symbolism of him taking John Wick. Like the point of the movie, the first movie was about the dog dying, right? And he got
his
all
connection to the dog. Yeah.
So then his connection to his wife is more important than he made this deal.
Because she turned him from being an assassin, and he gave it all up. And in the first movie, he comes back to revenge the dog, which was given to him by his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now the connection, which is the wife, it's symbolic of him losing even more now. Because he lost the thing that he probably only a memory because he's back to killing has been taken from him. He has a memory of losing something else, but at the same time he's lost the bond that was, till death do us part, the ring. And he's been wearing, she's passed, he's still wearing the ring, so it's still heavy on him. So the ultimate power it doesn't matter that John Wick didn't follow and he fights this Asian, this Asian mafia, like the sort of Yakuza, I can't stand you. But, and this is most of the rest of the fighting. It's very visual, very graphic, a lot of fun. But at the same time.
This is a stuntman's paradise. So if there's an Oscar for stuntman, this has got to be it.
But one of the
every
top
possible thing any type of killing, murder, shot, jump, fighting is in this movie. There's so many bodies. I mean, if you're an action junkie, it's
the thing is we found in Morocco, but you can't kill the top guys. That's what you can, because Halle Berry shot up one of the top guys in Morocco, but she didn't kill him. And that's the thing you have to remember. You can kill all, and that's the thing. You have to remember, he's getting salt on me because he's worried about the cannon fodder. People die. In this world, they die, and there's going to be 100 more right after them. Just like a boxer. Yes, boxers get
just
punchy,
like red shirts.
But, let's say like a boxer. You go into it, you fight, you might be, your mind might be gone, you might be punchy at the end. The next, a Requiem for a Heavyweight. Okay. There'll be another young person coming right after that.
There always is another young person.
Don't worry about the cannon fodder. We'll make more people to get shot up.
Okay.
So in this part, basically, at this point, they realize that the people that have been trying to take out the Continental Bowery and having a connection to John Wick say, oh, this was really a show of power. This wasn't just like you're standing for something. you're showing us that we can get to the, and that's the thing. We haven't seen we've only seen 2 people. We've seen a secretary to the top person, and we saw one of the top people that's out in the desert.
The high table.
The high table, thank you. So once you get we haven't seen the high table. That's why we're in the novel right now. We're in the novel, and it's only chapter 3, but it's been action-packed.
Right, but again, if the guy who's head of the high table, the Arab guy, comes and says, John
It's a
Wick.
table. It could be a bunch of people
Right,
at that
and he
table.
says basically, I give you, you're no longer excommunicado. And then the high table, the representative for the high table, who, by the way, is the actress, I believe Taylor from Billions, she comes in and says, well, it doesn't matter, you know.
Well, he went again. The thing is that John Wick
doesn't matter.
came back. He was supposed to kill. Wasn't he supposed to kill someone at the Continental? That was the deal, and he was like, he was iffy on it, and he came back and he just worked with the Continental.
Right, he was supposed to kill what's his name because they helped him out. So how are you going to kill somebody who helped you out?
He went against that. The people of the guy at the Continental, in the end, does something to John Wick where we believe John Wick is dead. But I mean, it's fairly clear
That he's not.
he's not. But he's connected to the Bowery again. And we're getting something that we didn't get from Matrix Revolution. We got the 2 of them back together. We got our
you
voice.
keep saying the Bowery. What aspect of the Bowery do you keep bringing up? Why about the Bowery? What is the Bowery? Because I mean, in the movie,
The Bowery's connected in ways we haven't seen yet.
but they have shown us the Bowery.
No, we haven't seen.
They're connected to all the bums and the
but we
on the
don't know
streets.
how they work. We haven't seen. The thing is, like when you build the world, you want to see what's going on in that world. It's like it's Star Trek when they develop a world and then they blow it up, but you don't get to see what happened and say, well, that was cool. If we spent a little time, this is saying we haven't got to the Bowery. Now we know that John Wick is going to be involved with the Bowery for a while. We're going to Morocco before that saying, hey, we want to see the Bowery, but we gave us something else that was cool there.
But let's not also forget about Angelica Houston. I thought in her limited role, she did a great job.
Oh, man. She's had so many interviews that have gone south, but it didn't amount to anything in this movie. She was incredible. She was amazing. A connection to John Wick.
And so
what
we see John Wick is when he's leaving, he's trying to escape New York and stuff like that. He goes to the Russian ballet house, right?
It looked like it was Jersey City. It looked like this.
Don't big up Jersey. Okay,
Like
don't big up Dirty Jersey.
Don't
big up Dirty
It was a movie theater in Jersey City,
So-
off of Kennedy Boulevard.
Oh boy, you know every little thing.
I went to school in Jersey City, New
Yeah,
Jersey City University.
You claiming that? I thought you claimed Tilden, S.J. Tilden, baby.
I'm college. I went to Tilden in high school.
All right, so look.
And I went to Madison. It's now Old Ridge in New Jersey. And the person you see here now is the person that went to Old Ridge High School. The person in Tilden had the people that liked him, but at the same time, he was very, very quiet. Quieter than I am normally. So.
But listen, so we have Angelica Houston. She is running this organization, a Russian organization, where they get kids and develop them as assassins. It looks like, right? You have
develops the ballet and develops at the same. The school also develops the athletes and assassins.
Right.
It's all in one school.
Right.
You ever see all in one? Has tap, has classical, and has ballet. This is a Russian school that has trains assassin, wrestling, and ballet.
I don't want to knock Belarusians if that's a different ethnicity from the rest of the Russians. Though I kind of think when you have a Russian in Belarusian, you're kind of the same. But hey, or you're close enough. But the point is here is that he's from that, and he was originally in this school, and he somehow was able to break out. And so he has a token that gives him free passage from whatever he had done. And you go into school, and you see all these kids, these ballerinas tattooed. They have these huge crosses on their backs, and you see these guys fighting, and that's why I assume that they are some type of organization, like an assassin organization. And they know about the world that John Wick is in. And so this is another world, and this is what Peter is saying, that you have all these worlds. You have the Bowery, and these guys kind of run like the homeless guys and the pigeon guys, you know, on the streets. And you have the Continental, which is supposed to be the more refined. This is like a meeting ground of all the assassins, and they're the ones that send out the messages. And so it's a varied world, but very interesting. It kind of reminds me of, remember that world with Angelina Jolie, that movie? I think McAvoy.
You're talking about Wanted.
Wanted,
When
where they
they
had
were,
the,
yeah.
the assassin and the bullet. That's the only thing missing here. If the bullets start turning different routes, I'm like, oh wow, we're in Wanted too. But yeah, I thought that was excellent. Angelica Houston, that whole world, and the revelation that he's Russian was like, wow. No wonder he just can't stop. He's badass. And anybody who's seeing Russian boxers, these guys are like
Well,
locomotives. They
not
keep
the
going
big
through.
Glitchko, the other Glitchko.
Klitschko.
Not Vladimir, but his brother.
Look, we're not going to.
The other one was really
we're
good.
not going to parse words.
The other one almost took out.
We're talking about all the Russian in general fighters. Okay, we're not talking about just one. So look, overall, we liked the movie. We want to see a sequel, and I think Keanu, how do you say that? Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, keep it going up. He was just in another movie the other day where I was watching this movie on Netflix, and he was a love interest of the female, this Asian woman. It was her and her boyfriend. And
you don't spoil it because I haven't seen that yet. But basically, she's a comedian.
Yeah, she's a comedian.
And it's a basically guy in a friend zone movie.
Yeah.
And then at the end, but it's like they give
the father first off the boat.
The trailer gives you so much stuff in it.
Yeah,
It's so nutty. It's like how much thing, and then it's like where it ends is like I told my wife, like you got to stop it here because they gave away too much. But Keanu, let's give a last tidbit was that Keanu was supposed to be the Jude Law character in Captain Marvel, and time didn't permit him to do that because he was doing Parabellum, and he was the smartest thing you could ever have done is to not play that nobody that Jude Law played.
People have said your career is over. People have said you're not going to be relevant.
Who, Keanu?
Yeah, because some of the movies he's done have not exactly been huge. But what
do you mean? He did The Matrix.
How long ago was that, bro?
Oh, you're saying that since he didn't do that,
there's been a couple. He's had a run of some, not exactly, but I'm just saying the John Wick title, and I hope that you're the owner. I hope you own the IP. I hope you own for the movies because
it
they
doesn't. I mean, he'd probably given him some sort of back end money.
But
the thing is like this.
I'm saying enough respect because he's pushed this continually, and this is what actors should do. You get a role. It's more than just enough to just do that role. If you're successful in the movie, and I just want to give you a quick breakdown on some of the facts here. The initial movie only did about $88 million, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first one. So that's not a huge hit, but it cost like so little, like $20 million to make. The second movie made $171 million worldwide. The third movie, just up to now, as of today, what is it? This is the first week of June. 192 million. It's going to break the 200 million mark. Of course, naturally, being Hollywood, they constantly raise the cost of this. So, the first one's probably 20, the second 40, the third one it's going to be more.
But they're saying having an increase, and it's still not through. The movie isn't through its run yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be over $200 million.
And if they wanted to, they could put money into another trailer, and it could be.
But they're not going to. The Hollywood knows how much money they have to spend. So the point I'm trying to make is that he's developed a character and run it. The same thing with Sylvester Stallone. He runs with the Rambo. The same thing with Linda Hamilton. She runs with the Terminator.
No, they're pulling her back.
Okay, look, I gave my point of view. Once again, he just wants to disagree with me.
Wow, he just had a little tantrum there. He's okay. John, the thing is, let's go. This is the thing about Keanu said after he did what's the movie with the bus? What's that movie that he did with the?
That was so long ago, bro.
But I'm saying, what's the name of it?
I mean, it's I know. I'll tell you right now. It was it's the one that he had the female actress who was pretty big. That was back in the 1990s. Before Little Buddha. Before. Damn, what is the name of the bus? It was something. It was.
So it has to be this going too far down.
Yeah.
Sweet November, Matrix.
The Replacements. No, it
it's got to be before that. It's got to be Speed.
Speed, yeah.
So after Speed,
which is a great concept for a movie.
It's
low budget.
It's
keep it within the action.
All stars. It's basically a fun movie. But he said after doing that, he didn't want to do Speed 2 because he was ambivalent towards sequels. But that left it open when he did The Matrix. That The Matrix is a trilogy. It makes sense. And now he's longer in the tooth, and he's like, you know what? Do as many of these John Wicks as the people want. And hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So listen, go out and check it out. If you're an action junkie, if you want to see a nice, quiet discussion, drama table discussion, one act type of thing. This ain't your movie, bro. Go watch it if you're an action junkie. Keanu Reeves fans.
Not just being an action junkie. The fact that
Wait. You disagreeing?
no,
again?
when you look at the action, like they got Halle
Stylistic.
Berry doing like the nutty stuff of flipping over people. Like people have hurt themselves doing this stuff. You know.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with Petey. He's right. You know, the artistry of the stunt in this movie are off the chain. I get, and Halle Berry's use of the dogs, I gotta say, is like, whoa. You know, the only thing that I had a problem with the whole dogs, I could have sworn one of them died, but.
No, they had bulletproof on the dogs. The dog gets hit with bulletproof, you got Arf! And then you see the thing drop, and then that's when she's at the same point as John Wick. Because he even says that at some point, I get it. So, hey, I say go out and see it.
No, one quick call out was that in the final act, they had John Wick fighting this group of people who had bulletproof armor and headgear.
Yeah.
I'm saying they were shooting them, pop, 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 and nothing was happening, and so they had to go get shotguns to like blow them away. If they did shoot them, boom, 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 because the impact hurts you or makes you lose your thing, and then what happens? They have to open up the helmet and then shoot them, blow, in the head, which is like.
Or they were putting it right to the neck. It's a strong and a fun, like, what's the name? John Wick 2 basically gave you a lot of the style. And I really, like, a scene I wanted to do was go to the underbelly of, I'm not telling you my whole story, but going to the underbelly of New York, and it would be the Diamond District where a lot of crazy things would happen. In John Wick 2, they had a scene where they go to these jewel dealers, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they got even this scene in here. So
what about the scene when they were fighting with the knives? They were in an area.
Oh yeah, and then they're throwing
First it's like little knives, and then boom, 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 boom. They're not even using guns, and then they're taking machetes. Then you have axe, and I'm like, wow, the axe gang.
Well, one of the power of the movie is understanding, and it's something that Frank Miller, as a comic artist, understanding that you can just, like the way when they start throwing John Wick through glass, like they threw him through every glass panel that they could in this movie. Like they just kept tossing him into him, and they're just like, he's in for it. And this is showing you, this is just pushing up the level of
badassery.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just one of the nuttiest things.
So just go enjoy yourself.
Have fun.
You're gonna have a blast.
Yes.
Spin a rack.
Out.